Hello everyone, this is Dragonfist. I am back again, and today I am going to go over all of the answers to the Dienerstein test that I took in the last video. I'm going to spend some time on my mistakes and not so much on where I got the questions right, because I already kind of explained my thinking in the last video. But I will go over all of the problems. I did fairly okay. I got 13 questions correct and 7 mistakes. Although it's a little, like, I'm not sure I want to call all outright mistakes, because this test isn't designed for you to, ace it. There are certain moves that one could call 100% move or something like that. While, say if you're 1 down or 5Q or whatever, it's okay to play the second best or third best move in some cases. Yeah, there were 7 questions where I didn't play the best move. And some of those mistakes that I made are outright mistakes. They are just bad moves, and we'll get to them. But anyway, let's start going over the questions. So the first question was this one, and the answer is C. And I already explained this in the last video, so I won't really go over it. And you can watch that video if you want to see my reasoning. And like I said in that video, I already knew the answer to this problem. I've kind of cheated on this one problem. But anyway, I explained it in the last video. For the second question, the answer is D, so I got this one correct. It's just a lot of room. It is possible to invade there. I mean, if black tries to cover it with, say, C, then it's easy for white. For instance, you can slide under here and push, which is center, and then extend, something like that. So in most cases, black will kick, and then you can jump out to C. And it's difficult for black to kill this. You can even give up some stones, like if black tries to kill, you can give up some stones. And sure, it can be a bit difficult, I mean, if you haven't really done this sort of invasions before. But try it out, although I think it depends on the state of the board. It definitely does. So if black is stronger elsewhere, then this sort of invasion might be difficult, because you will have a running group. And I've noticed that in my own games, that if I invade too late, then it's difficult. But in a general situation, it's possible. So that's why the answer is D. And I won't really show this on the board, because I don't want this video to be too long. So I want to spend time on my mistakes. But if you have any questions for any of these problems, feel free to ask, and I will answer. Okay, so the answer to this problem was D, so I got this one correct too. This is just a regular joseki. I guess I can show it. Okay, so I will just show this one really quickly. White invades, and it's like this, and this is the move. This is a very normal joseki. And like this. And like this. So this is a typical invasion, and it's pretty nice because white does it in center, although black has pretty strong outside. But yeah, this is just a regular joseki. And yeah, that was the answer to this problem. It wasn't really, I guess, that difficult if you know the joseki, although I think it could be tempting to try all of these other moves in case there's something or a special reason for doing it on the board. But in this case, the answer was simply D. Okay, this is a problem where I got the answer wrong. I played C, but that's not really correct. It is a little passive, it is slow, and yeah, that's not really good. And I actually used to be pretty passive, and I guess I still am a little, and that's why I made this mistake. And it's not really good, because you can fight with B. So if you cut at B and white plays D, then you can cut. And we'll see that this white stone has a ladder. You can ladder it. And also you have this group in the upper right. So this stone isn't really safe either. So it is a good fight for black. I didn't play it because I thought that black had bad shape. But it is something that I should have done. It is a good fight for black. And it's kind of funny that D is actually the worst move out of all of these moves. Which is basically the same thing, you know, it's still a cut and you're still fighting, but it's the worst move. The reason for that is that the situation changes. So after D, it's black that's in a ladder. And also white has this Atari. So the fight is just a lot better for white than if you play B. I was a bit surprised that C and A are the same in value. Because white attached here. Well, actually, I looked the game up. White played invasion, black kicked, and white played this knight's move. But it's basically an attachment, so usually you respond to attachments. So I thought that C was better than A, but apparently they are the same value. And I think it's because they pretty much do the same thing. They are both moves that settle. They're passive moves that settle. And also C kind of helps out white, because white will probably pull back to D. So, or maybe extend, I don't know. But yeah, C is kind of like a helping move too. So yeah, I guess that's why A and C are the same. And E isn't that good because it lets white connect. But yeah, that was this question, and B was correct. So B. Oh, and by the way, here's the game for this problem. We can see that he invaded here and kick and like this, and black played here, and white jumped out because blocking isn't really good for the fight. So white was forced to do this kind of thing, and black takes the top side. I got this one correct. It's D because of the ladder. I can show this joseki. Okay, so we have this situation. White played here, and not here. So yeah, this is a very typical way to reduce this framework. So black plays here like this and crosscut, and this was the correct move. Because of this ladder, it doesn't work. This ladder doesn't work for white. So white will play like this and let black have this bonuki, which is really nice because it works well with L3. And now white will play this. This is joseki, and like this. And white basically has a V group. But yeah, this is joseki. I couldn't find this specific game, but this seems to be played a lot. Or well, not a lot, but some games. So yeah, that's why this move is the correct one. Like this, I don't like white doing this sort of thing. And getting the outside, and L3 is kind of lonely. So this is the correct move. So the next question, I got this one correct, it's B. This is actually a Takamiya game. I found the game, so it's a Takamiya game, and he plays B. That's very typical Takamiya, to build the center. I personally think E is not really bad either. I mean, it's a territorial style. E is possible too, but I guess in this case B is probably better because white has kind of a little bit of influence on the left side here, and B kind of reduces white's potential as well as builds black's. So there's that as well. But I also think it's kind of a style thing whether you want to play E or B, but I guess in this case B is better, and that's what Takamiya play. So I guess B is the answer in this case. Okay, so question 7, I got this one correct. It's C. This is joseki. It's just joseki. And, well, B is joseki too. But C is more common. And it was the correct answer, I guess, because white has this influence, like I said, and in my last video, and that's why C is good. So the correct answer was C. Here's the game, by the way, where this was played. So this move was played and it went like this. Yeah, like this. So yeah, this was the game. And this is basically joseki. This question I got wrong, and it's the question I am most confused about. I don't think I fully understand, I must admit, this question. I played at A, and A was the second best, and I only lost 2 points, so it's not really that much. The entire test is 200 points if you get everything correct, but it wasn't the best move. The best move was D, and from my understanding, D is a more modern variation. It protects the cut, first of all, because black has this cut at any time where it can capture the single stone. So it takes some territory, and it also protects against the RG of the single stone. And it's a little different from when black doesn't have this move. So I will show. Okay, so I want to show this joseki first, where it's like this. Wait a minute, like this. And now this push is joseki, and then some sort of extension. I think this push is it's always played like it's a must move, and then the extension. And by the way, this joseki is apparently not very good. I've heard this, but this joseki isn't that good. You should choose this one, it's better. But that's not really what I want to talk about. This move is a normal joseki move, but it's different if white has double approached. So say black plays away, and it's like this. This is joseki, and like this. And now we have basically the same situation, although we don't have this this extension, but it's basically the same situation. And now black plays here. This is a joseki move. This is also a joseki move, or at least a common move. And also this one is common too, which is basically C, only one move different. So all of these are played in pro games. I found pro games where all of these are played. And in very similar situations too, like in very general situations where I wouldn't think there's a huge reason to play one over the other, you know. So I'm a bit confused by this, and I can't say I really understand it. But from my understanding, this is a more modern move. And you know, it's a little different because in this case there's RG with a single stone, as opposed to the other situation where there's no stone there. So I guess that's a reason for why this is a better move now. You know what I mean? Like, this is a move now. It kind of deals with the stone. And I guess there's some sort of fight after this. So this was the correct move. And thanks to Tyler for explaining this. He explained some of his thoughts about this joseki to me on Facebook. But anyway, let's look at some games where this is played. Okay, so let's first look at this one. And do a search. Something like this. 16 results. So let's do this one too. So 14. So almost all games this push is made. So it's a very common move. But in the other case, where it's like this, let's just search for that. 320. So I guess that kind of tells you that this joseki in the other case isn't really a joseki anymore. So let's do a search for this. $136. So it's not really a must move anymore. Well, it's not really, I guess not a must in the other case either, although almost all games were like that. But in this case it's much fewer games. You can do a search for this too. 26, not that much. You can do on here 31. So yeah, it's all of these are played. It's different, you know. This move isn't really the only move in this case. Okay, so I have prepared some games just so we can look at some examples of this joseki. So here we have this game, and in this case black actually pushes and plays this move. So it's you know, I don't know, but that's why, or that's how they play in this game. In this game he plays here. It seems a very similar situation to me. Like if you look at this compared to this, it seems very similar. I don't really see a huge difference. It's basically the same thing. I guess the difference is that white has this R3, but I don't know. Anyway, the game goes like this, and yeah, there's an attack. So you can, I guess white lives. So here's another game. White plays like this. In this case, this is kind of similar to the problem itself, and it goes like this. And here's another case again, and in this case black plays here. So we see all the three moves, all A, D and C being played. And this seems very similar if you look at this compared to this. Seems to me these are very similar games. This top left is different, but I don't know, I can't really tell you the reason why this is played in this case and this is played in that case. I am not sure about that. So I can't really explain that. But in any case, it seems to me that A, D and C are all possible moves in different situations. But E and B aren't really that good. B, I guess, looks good, but it really isn't, because there's a lot of room for black. So black can perhaps jump to C and should be able to deal with this. There's a lot of room there. And also black still has to cut to capture the single stone. So B isn't really that good. But A, D and C are possible moves, and in this case I guess D is the best. And by the way, this seems to be a joseki that is explained by some guy called Kim Mon-soo. I think he's a Korean professional, 7-dan. But I couldn't find this lecture. It says catching up to down level players. So I assume it's some sort of lecture or book or something, but I couldn't find it. So I'm assuming it's in Korean. But if you know what this is, please tell me about it, because I would love to check it out if I can, to learn more about this joseki. But I couldn't find it. I googled it and I also checked Baduk TV and I couldn't find it. So yeah, Kim Mon-soo, catching up to the online players. Let me know if you have any information about that. Okay, so next problem. This was really bad. I played the worst possible move I could have played. Yeah, so that's not really good. I played A. A is not a good move. And I'll show you the different situations or the different follow-ups for these different moves. Okay, so we have this situation. Black has double approach and white jumps out. Black invades. If you play A and play this normal variation, wait, like this. This is very normal. It's probably not very good for white because black has this stable group on the side, so this influence isn't very useful. It's in the wrong direction. You want to work with the 4-4 to build a framework on the bottom, and not this side. And black is stable there. I think that's the reason why this is bad. And let's look here. If you play this direction, it seems better. Like this, and you want this to happen. And now we have a better direction. It's influence towards the bottom where you want to build. So this is better. But I don't think this will happen. I think probably black will cut. And we have this situation, which is like this. Something like this. And we see that white is in a little bit of trouble here because black already has the 11. Usually black doesn't have that, so white can extend. But now black has it, so this is probably a bad fight for white. So I assume that that's the reason why this is a bad joseki choice for white, because of this cut. So both of these blocks aren't really good. This is also joseki, and I knew that, but I guess I didn't know the follow-up. Although I have seen it a number of times, but I guess I haven't really played this very much in my own games. Usually when my opponent double approaches, or usually when my opponent approaches, I answer. I don't really usually find myself in these situations where I am double approached. But this is joseki, and it goes like this. Black connects, and usually white follow up with a move like this to protect. And now we see that white is building the bottom. He has the stones in the right direction and is not in trouble. So now black will go in here. So this is the best variation for white. And also I guess C is like, I'm not sure. I don't think it's joseki. So, but I guess it's like in the right, or the right idea. Also E, I think it's kind of like ignoring the situation, like, or well, it kind of helps out, but it treats these two stones lightly, which I think you can do. So I guess E is not that bad either. But the correct move is here. And it's funny, I found 2 games exactly like this, and it was by the same people, played only a few days apart. So I can show you. So we had these games, Feng Yan versus Yilun Yang, famous teacher in America. And yeah, it's like this. And my place here. And we see this. And now black invades. And it's the same in this game. It's the same game. But these are actually 2 different games. So it's kind of funny that it's the same game but like a week or 2 apart. And here also black invades here. And yeah, they start to differ at this point. Actually they are the same so far, but yeah, a little bit different. So the answer is D. In this problem, A is correct. That's joseki. I mean, once you have blocked here, A is the correct move with joseki. It's basically the joseki. I mean, maybe B in some cases if you're afraid of the cut, but the joseki is A, so A is the correct move. This problem I actually got wrong. I played C, but it's not correct. The correct answer is A, and I looked this up. I did a pattern search, and pretty much almost all games, they played A. So C is just not correct. It's not a very good move. It's A is the correct move. It makes a base, and it also, well, it's a light play. It's a good light shape. It's a typical shape, this stone to A. The reason I didn't play A was because I thought that black doesn't have a good follow-up in the corner, because B is a very short extension. But it's really not a problem, because you can approach from the other side. So it's really not a big deal. And if you approach from the other side and white plays B, then white is pressured too, not just black. So A is the correct move. C, I think the problem is that white can play between A and B and undercut C, and C is floating, or the group is floating, it's not alive. And D, I guess, is bad because it doesn't make a base at all, it just jumps out, and white can attack with a move like C. So D is not good. And E is just ignoring the situation entirely and taking a big point. But yeah, A is the correct move. I can show some games. Okay, so here is a game. I think this is it's the same situation. It's probably the same game. So here's like this, and black plays here. This is the move. And he approached from this side, it's okay. Here it's Nukus though, and it gets really complicated. But the point is that this is a light shape, and you can deal with it. I mean, even if you defend this, you can still deal with this. So yeah. Here's another game. Still plays here. And he even ignores this, because this is a light shape. So it's fine. And you see that if white invades, then black just plays here. And gets some influence. So yeah, this is a very typical light shape, so it's a very good shape, this shape. Here's another game. Yeah, he plays one shorter in this case, but it's still basically the same idea, to make a base. And here, this move again. And he secures his territory, or his shape, with this move. So yeah. And it's kind of funny, this game that I showed earlier also has this shape. So if you look at it, this move is actually played in this game. But the difference is that the natural follow-up is here, is on the left, not from the bottom. But with the 4-4, it's the same, you know. So there's that. I think that's the reason why he played this move and not the other one. Although I did find more games where white still played A, or this third line move, more so than this move, also when the 4 or the 3-4 is like this. Okay, next problem. D is correct. I got this one correct. It's the move that lives. The others don't, or not cleanly anyway. E is a ko, A is seki, at least that was my reading, and B I think dies, but D lives cleanly, so the answer was B. This problem I got wrong. I played B, but it's not correct. The correct answer is A, and it's not very easy to guess because B is center for the snapback, but A is actually correct, and I will show you why. So let me show you. Okay, so we have the same situation, and basically it's the same reason why all of the wrong moves are wrong. So let me show this move. And I can play like this. If white blocks, there's a ko. So this is unacceptable for white. The only move white can play is here. But then black can play here. And white needs to spend 3 moves to capture this stone. So black gains from this. Okay, so with C, black can play here. And this is kind of painful. Because white needs to capture this. If white blocks here and takes this, black can play here. And you have this thing again. It's a go. If white plays here, black will throw in. So yeah, this is painful for white, this move. There's also, I guess, well, maybe in this case, yeah, there's this go. So white can't even block. White has to do something like this, it seems. So yeah, this is painful for white. And B basically has the same problem, because black will push and play here, and then play here. And if black plays here, or if white plays there, black will play here. And white is dead. So if white plays here, it's a ko. So white needs to play here again. Black can throw in, and if white takes, then it's a ko. So white needs to play something like this, and white needs to capture these two. Not right now, but eventually. So this move isn't really that good because of the same weakness, this Hane. At least that's what I figured out. Maybe there's some other variation I'm missing here, but that seems to be the reason. Because if white just play here, sure, black has this, but now the corner is white's, and black can't do anything. Even with these moves, white can't tanuki, because if black plays here, white will play here. Black needs to connect, and white can play here, and black can't capture. So there's nothing black can do. If black plays here, white will play here, and if black plays here, if black plays here, white plays there. If black does something like this, still white can do this, and black is dead. So yeah, even though this gives this center move, it's still the best move. It gives the most points, it keeps the corner. So yeah, A is the correct move in this case. Yeah, in this problem I got this one correct too. It's E. Because it's center. It's you want to take it first. So because white will answer, or black will answer, and then white will connect, and black needs to protect. So yeah, it was that simple. Even though it's kind of scary problem, because it seems so simple that it might be some other reason why some of the other moves are better. But E was the correct move. This problem I got wrong. I played D, but that's not correct. The correct move is B, and it's kind of complicated. Why? I will show you. And by the way, I think this problem is the most difficult problem. It's meant to be the most difficult problem because I checked the different variations, and D was the second best, along with A. A is like giving up. I can't read this, I just play A. But yeah, all of the moves that aren't B gave very few points, and B gave like a huge amount of points, like I don't know, 14 points or something like that. While on the other questions you got, for the most part, at least those I checked, you get 2 points better for each move that's better than the last one. Here it's like you get a massive amount of points for the correct move. So I think this is like meant to be the hardest problem. But B was the correct answer, I will show you. Okay, so here's the situation. Let's first look at the mistakes. So C is one of the worst moves. It simply doesn't work. Black can monkey jump, for instance, and white has no base. I mean, white has this in center, but it doesn't help. This cut doesn't really work. So yeah, doesn't really work as far as I can see. So yeah, this doesn't work. And E also doesn't really work. Black can take the eye, so that's a mistake too. Okay, so let's look at this move. It doesn't work, I don't think, because black can play here. If white blocks, this is center, and here. And if white plays there, black will play here, and white is dead. So white is just dead. I don't think white can do anything. I haven't seen anything, at least, to live here. I mean, if white does something like this, then black can play here, and if white connects, black just takes. So doesn't seem like, well, this case black will play here. So yeah, I don't think white can live with this move. So that's probably the reason why this is a bad, why that's a bad move. So the answer is here. And I thought that this wasn't very good because black has this, and white can play the go, but I guess in this case white has to do something like this, and he still has to win the go. So yeah, I thought this was not enough. It's not really that much, but this is the correct move. It is something at least. The others just don't work. And in the actual game, black actually played here. And here we have the actual game. White played this. And like this. So yeah, it's a go. And let's see. Play this forever. And black finally took the go. So the correct answer is B. So in this problem the correct answer was D. I got this one correct. It's the point that gets most territory. If you choose any of the others, white will play D. So D is the correct one. Okay, for this problem I played the wrong move. I played D. But C is better. C, the reason why I didn't play it was because I wanted to leave the RG of the cut. Also A is center later for the cut. So that's why I played D. But there's really no reason to keep A as a center in the future, because A to C is kind of a bad exchange, I think, for black. White gets strong on the outside. I don't think A is a good move ever, unless maybe very, very late in the endgame. So when you think about it, it's really not much reason to save Dodgy, which is why C is the correct move. And C makes white heavy, or, well, I'm not sure I would call it really heavy because it's not really weak, but it makes white have a bad shape, and it also strengthens your own group on the top side. It strengthens D, so black will probably play D after C, something like that. So it's best to get in C first, because there's really no reason to save the RG, and I'm not sure, maybe if you play D, white will play C immediately. So yeah, C is better than D. A is not good, because the exchange is bad, like I said. And E is not good either, because it strengthens white on the top side, and you don't want to do that. That's where the focus is on the top side. So you want to reduce the top side. So that's why D is the second best move. And B doesn't really work because of the double Hana, and black will have a weak group. So yeah, C is better than D. I got this one correct. The answer is C. It simply works because you can capture with D after. So C is the best move. I got this one correct too. E is correct. It attaches a strong stone, and it's very important, or it's well, it's very usual to do that kind of thing when you're in trouble like this. It helps. There's really no reason to not do it, because black is already strong and you want the strength. So when you are weak, you attach to strength. So it's good. It's also a good way to make sabaki, because if black harness back, you can maybe harden back too, to make sabaki, to make a light shape. Yeah, E is a very common tactic. It's to attach to a strong stone and you're weak. So E is the correct move. And I also got this problem correct. C is the correct move. It's faster. It's simply faster. Also, I think that if black plays E, then it's not really a big deal. You can atar it, and it's a ko. It's already a ko, and also, even if you don't win the ko, then you get out. It's not really a huge deal. You still have nice shape. So I think the main thing here is that white is getting out faster with C, and you can play it. It's not really a big deal if black takes this stone. So yeah, C is the correct move here. And that's all of the problems, and I got everything correct. So if you want to see more explanations of at least my correct moves, I do go into a little more detail in my last video where I actually do the problems. I give you more thoughts while I do the problems. So hopefully this was helpful, and you liked the video and such. There are also some other tests. It's called Test Your Style or something. It's just this test by Alexander Dinstein, same guy that made this test, where you can find your style. He also made another test, which is a cosmic style test, where basically you find out if you are suited to play cosmic style, Takemiya's famous style, which is very center-oriented. I want to take both of those. Let me know if you want to see that, because I think I want to take both of those too while I record. But I think before both of those videos, I want to make another video about my teachers, the teachers that I have had. So I want to share my thoughts and experience with these different kind of programs, and kind of help people that haven't tried these things before, because they cost money, you know, teachers cost money. So I want to kind of give my thoughts on it and see if I can help you decide what you want to do in regards to teachers and stuff. So I think that will be my next video. But anyway, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.